Shall we play a game?
Hello everyone, welcome back to Vintage Gaming Memories. In this video, I have a pretty unique item I want to share with you. It took me some time to acquire this, but I'm happy to say the quest is over. Now, it's not an Atari branded or labeled device, but it was very much sought after back in the 80s because of what it can do. However, it carried a heavy price tag. Back in 1983, this sold for $750. That's right, 750. That's equivalent to roughly $2,300 today when you calculate in inflation. So this is the ATR8000 by Software Publishers Inc. And as you can tell, it also came from Italy with the Fragile reference here.
Fragile. It must be Italian.
Let's get right into this and unbox it to see if it's exactly what I expected it to be, based on the auction information, that is. Box number 2. Let's see what's in this one. Now, I have to say, the auction itself was one of the best looking ATR8000 I've seen in quite some time. I've seen others that look pretty beat up, untested. Who knows what issues there could be with capacitors being exploded or leaking or just not working for other reasons, because this really is like a computer in itself. So I was happy to find this one, get a great deal on it, and it also came with the owner's manual. We'll look at that in a second. Got the power, awesome. And then the main unit itself, nicely packaged, secured. There it is. The ATR8000. This is a beautiful device, and I'll explain why in a second here. I mean, this is in great condition as well. Give you a little background on this. I bought this 3 weeks ago, and it's been in the box that I just opened up for about 2 weeks, which goes to show I'm very behind with this hobby of mine with the Atari collection and so forth. But with other activities going on during the holidays, I guess that's kind of common. So if you're not familiar with this peripheral, then you're probably thinking, how come it costs so much? Well, this is more than just a peripheral. This is a 4 megahertz Z80 64K of RAM processor. So it is a computer in itself, like I said. And there were 2 versions of this ATR8000. One had 16K of RAM, and then we have this one here, which has 64K. But before I'm going to even plug it in, of course, I'm going to open this thing up because I want to make sure it looks as good on the outside as it does on the inside. The listing said it was tested, so I'm sure he or she plugged it in and turned it on, but I still want to look inside. There's only a few 4 screws, I believe, to open it up. So let's just open this up and get a quick glance inside and see how it looks. Okay, got all the screws done, and I took the owner's manual out of the plastic Ziploc, and I mean, for a 1982 owner's manual and ATR8000, it looks in pretty good condition. There's also an addendum to the manual as well. I'll have to look through all this. And I'm sure there's a PDF already out there, so I can read at my leisure without having to thumb through something that's 40 plus years old. Let's open up what we came here to see. All right. I'm going to turn some more lighting on here so we get a better view. This is a really awesome looking device. And why do I say that? Because when I explain what it can do, you're going to be amazed, considering we are looking back at 41 years ago. So this allows you to connect a variety of drives from various sizes, any standard off-the-shelf disk drive to connect with your Atari. It will manage all the compatibility concerns you may have. It says it can handle as many as 4 drives including any combination of 8-inch, 5-inch standard, and 5-inch Atari drives. And when I say 5-inch, I mean 5 1/4. That in itself is amazing what it can do with device storage management, with the processor and the OS. But there's more. That is just one of the 5 ports on this device. It also has an RS-232 port. Let me turn the back side so you can see. So that's the floppy drive I was just talking about. Then it has the RS-232 port, which you can connect a modem or a serial printer to it, or even use it to connect to another terminal. Then you have here a printer port. That's for a parallel printer connection. And then you have a peripheral out. That's to connect to, I guess, other Atari peripherals. And then a computer in. This port here is where you would connect into your Atari computer. And then a reset button. And of course the power cord. I don't know if that is a serial number. If that is, it's a nice little number. I want to get a good look at everything in here. It's just, oh, it's cool. It's got a little fuse. Let's look at that. It's not broken. I still see it's in one piece inside, so the connection is flowing through. So that would actually stop it right at the power switch. All right, so let's take a quick look and glance at everything here. Let's see what we can identify just by looking at it, and it should come pretty obvious. Well, here's the Zilog Z80 CPU, basically the brains of this device, and they have it stamped on the chip here, CPU. All these other ones here look like integrated circuits. They could be chips that are used for like logic gates or registers. Not quite certain unless I can get a hold of a schematic circuit diagram for this board and then truly determine what function these chips serve. But those that are clearly labeled, like this one and this one here, it says Z80A So the CTC, I do know that's the counter timer channel, and don't know fully what it actually will work with on the Z80, but I do know CTCs are key with the reading and writing logic with the CPU. But that's as far as I know. I mean, I don't go much into the boards, the chips, and putting this together. I just understand high-level logic, so I can tell you that much. And then, of course, the capacitors. We all know that. Well, this is a 35-volt capacitor. I did check these all around. There's no leakage. They look pretty good. Here's the RAM, 64K RAM over on this side. That's pretty much it. We did see the fuse, the glass fuse on the side. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any ribbon cable to connect to this device, specifically the 3 over here that you can see. But I do have SIO cables that I can plug into the 2 ports there and give it a try. First, I want to at least confirm that this still does power on. It doesn't smoke or trip anything like that glass fuse that we just looked at. I do feel very confident that there shouldn't be any issues based on the board looking very clean. There's no residue on it from any of the capacitors or any leakage or being shown on them or even bulging. So I don't think this was also messed around with by anyone, because I don't see anybody doing some retracing on the circuit board or even connecting or soldering work done. It looks very OEM from what I could tell. So let's give it a try. Let's just power this on for a few seconds to make sure I get the power on light and making sure that nothing pops. And we'll see how that goes. And then we can decide where we go from there. So here is the cable, power cable. All right, well, I got it plugged in, and I'm leaving it open so we can see if anything does smoke, and I'll know what it is. But I'm just going to turn this on and then see what happens. Got the light on, nothing smoking. Good sign. Turn it off for now. I'm going to try to see if I can connect through here the SIO connections with the Atari 800 XL that I have next to this, and then with one of my drives, the 1050 or maybe an Indus. I just want to make sure that this board works as a middle component between the devices. And then I'll definitely get some ribbon cable made so we can really try out having multiple drives, various sizes all connected, and seeing how they all interact with this device. But let me close this thing up, get the cables connected, and power that on, and let's see what happens. Okay, so I have the 8000 connected to the 800 XL and to the 1050. The 8000's in the middle as far as the connections go. The 1050 is turned on, the monitor's on. I have a disk in the drive that I know will boot up. So let's turn the 8000 on, and then we'll turn the computer and see how it boots up. Here it goes. And you know what? I cannot believe this was the dumbest test I could do. Well, actually, it's the only test I can do, but it's not really a great test because the SIO connection that I'm doing, both of them, it's just a pass-through. There's really no need to power this ATR8000 on in order to test that. So, I mean, what it's telling me is that it's actually reading through. Obviously, it's connecting in the middle through the ATR8000, and there's no issues booting up. Yes, we can confirm that that's not really the gist of this device, but at least tells me one thing works, so that's a good thing. Again, I'm going to get these ribbon cables created or found somewhere here in my supplies, and then we'll try it with some daisy chaining of a bunch of drives and see how that works. Along with the printer, maybe I could pull one of my printers out and try that. Well, that's about as far as I can go with this device at this time until I get some cables and more knowledge on how to work this. I will read through the manual and definitely be doing a follow-up to at least show my various drives working with it. What I'll do is put some close-up detailed photos at the end of this video just to show you more of the circuit board if you're interested in that. I really want to show off its full capabilities, or at least some of its capabilities with the multi-drives. So that will definitely be in a follow-up video, hopefully in the very near future. But until next time, remember to keep that gaming passion from the past alive by living it today. Take care, everyone.